Hey guys, and welcome back to Untier Talk, where I've played more Fire Emblem and watched more Smash Ultimate footage than I have played Pokemon. But I'm qualified, I promise. Joining me
Same.
is joining me is the infinitely more talented Mr. HJAD.
I'm not infinitely more talented, just a bit more talented.
That's true. It's not possible to be infinitely more talented. I should have checked my numbers. I should have double checked that math.
Indeedles.
I really have been taking kind of a hiatus for the last 2 weeks. Not a huge one. I'm still hosting a lot of stuff and doing administrative things, but I've not been playing a ton. Um, so but we're gonna start this right off with a new segment. This is a JAD segment, so if you'd like to introduce this.
So guys, I've decided, sort of at the pain of Megazord, to introduce this new segment called HJAD's Gimmick Corn. Basically, every week I'm going to introduce a brand new, cool, fun-looking gimmick, and I want to see in the comment section below or Discord if you want what you think of the set, and if you have any cool sets that you maybe want to be featured next week. So, yeah, Megazord, do you want to know what the set is?
Oh, I am dying to hear. I thought it was one of the sets we talked about earlier. Is this a totally new gimmick?
Oh, I've decided to not do the soak lantern because that's sort of already been a gimmick for a while now. So we're doing utility blossom. That's the set of the week.
Okay, and why would one want
So
to use this over, Lurantis or Roselia?
okay, so utility blossom is more like a wing con that can toxic things. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
So basically, blossom is much better than Lurantis for its special bulk and also for its strength sap. Basically, strength sap and quiver dance. Plus, if you add on top of that Toxic and Giga Drain, you kind of have like a good bulky Wincon. It kind of functions
But
similarly to how
but no, but that's
your
just bulky quiver dance. But you've replaced the other move with toxic.
yeah, that's
But
basically it.
that's
And it
not
was also good
utility
at it's
blossom. It's just blossom with a different move, which is toxic. Which
it's also
sounds good because it can't break things like Articuno or whatever. But that's just literally toxic instead of Moonblast or Safeguard or Hidden Power or
yeah
whatever else. That's not
yeah.
utility.
The utility comes from its Videf, which we have boosted with max HP and max Videf. What
Oh,
this allows it
okay.
to do,
I
in
see.
conjunction with Quivered Dance, is basically be unkillable specially. And when you have a lot of unkillable physically Pokemon in the tier, sort of like Gerda, Skuntank with the Rocky Helmet, Aftermath Shenanigans, same with Toge, it's really easy to support in a way which is kind of good as well. It gives you like essentially basically a Lurantis which can operate as a more long-term functioning win condition, given that Quiver Dance actually boosts speed rather than Lurantis. So you're always
Yeah.
at the you're always checked by Aurorus at that stage if you're using Lurantis, but at this stage you can sort of just quiver past that.
To be fair, I am interested in a Jellicent check that isn't pursuit trapped, like Roselia is.
Yeah, dude.
So that doesn't.
Also,
Yeah.
you can Quiver Dance in the face of Roselia, and if you decide to swap Toxic for Moonblast, it basically standard Blossom but with max for death. You actually 1v1 the Rose, which is quite fun actually. Just as like a power play, just as like a flex thing. But usually it's just better to run Toxic and then just have an actual like Rose check. But, this set's quite fun. Having a Jellicent check which can check other things, I found it useful for checking Gerda in a pinch. When you sort of just need the Gerda check, but you have like a Mesprit for your like primary Gerda check, but you need a secondary one as well. This operates nicely as like a hybrid to check both of those things, and doesn't it's not so weak and not so frail that it's completely useless. Like it's just a good long-term win con.
To be honest, that doesn't sound as bad as I was expecting when like the first suggestion you tossed out was soak lantern. I was like, oh god, this is gonna be like crazy gimmick turn one, but no, I can see it. I'm not.
It fits nicely on like balance teams, so it really appreciates spike support and Aurora's checks and aggro checks, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what?
Basically, the meta.
I can see it. I don't. That seems actually pretty reasonable for checking like a significant amount of the top tiers and whatever. All right, sure. The HJAD's gimmick corner. There you go. He's just got too many gimmicks, so we need an overflow station.
Yeah. For sure. Also, make sure you either PM your new gimmicks or put them in the comment section below, and we'll feature them. We'll talk through them one by one. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like nobody. We have a lot of people who are like, "Hey, Megzard, I love the pod." I do actually get comments like that, which I never expected. I don't make that up. But we don't get any. I get them in like random PMs. I never get like comments about like, "Can you talk about this?" or comments on the videos. Like, you know, all we get is like Shane Gould posting his Untier Talk late this week. That's it.
Yeah. We love Shane Gould.
So other PU stuff, there's not a ton. Obviously, I'm a little bit out of the loop. Like I said, I've just been really taking a hiatus. It just happened to line up with getting out of Ladder Tour, the Ultimate Demo, starting some Fire Emblem games. So, like, I needed a slight break. So, but I have seen people talking about the VR a lot. Because obviously, like, the A ranks are really weird, and there is a lot to do there. And people are, focusing on certain things. Like Clefairy really needs to drop. Hitmonchan, that's been something people are going back and forth on. And those two things in particular I actually do have thoughts on, because kind of the same argument where, like, I think they should both just go to B+. That doesn't mean they're remotely bad Pokemon. It just means that they're more niche, and even though they're effective and good, it is much harder to use them. And I do not see why going to B+, people are so averse. People like really against Hitmonchan dropping to B+. They think it's great. And I think it's hard to argue that Hitmonchan hasn't just gotten worse. It is currently in the same rank as Poliwrath or Primeape. I don't think that's fair. It'd be one rank below Girder once that drops, because it really should drop. Please, I hope it drops. Like, why did we leave that? I think people are just automatically associating B+ with bad Mon. It's really the same thing for Abomasnow Rising. Abomasnow is good. It is better in this meta, don't get me wrong, but it's still like B+ effective. It's not gotten so significantly better that you can overlook all its flaws, and people are saying like, oh, it's much more close to Aurorus now. No, that's bull. Aurorus is still easily the better Mon. Scarf Aurorus, I don't know why people don't think it's good anymore.
Yeah. Like,
but yeah, I think people are just too crazy about B+. B+ is still good.
I was just going to add to that. Like, people have been saying stuff about Aurorus, and when you look at most of the types of teams that I've been seeing, at least, the main Aurorus check is either being like a Lantern or a Scarf Toge, and in either like direction, that sort of lends itself to saying that maybe a Scarf Aurorus is like kind of decent now, because people are investing less in a specific ice resist than they used to be. But now with Scarf Aurorus, you can sort of like use your team to sort of manipulate those resists a little bit, and then clean with Scarf Aurorus, or like break in the mid game with Scarf Aurorus. So I think that is a really good set for Aurorus at the moment. I also think Specs is still ridiculously good. It's hard to check, and if you want to invest in an actual Aurorus check, something like AV Crab, something like, I don't know, what other things do we have? Sandslash Alola. Like, if you want to invest in those types of things to check Aurorus fully, it's almost not worth it in that case. So in many cases, I think Aurorus is sort of, it's underappreciated, I think, at the moment, in this meta specifically. But moving back to Hitmonchan at B+, I'm a huge fan and advocate of Hitmonchan, both Hitmonchan and Clef. I like both of the mods. But even I know that with Clef especially, less so Hitmonchan, but Clef especially, Clef is my main point here, is that Clef sort of, it's not on the same level as the Pokemon you'd put in A-. And I feel like people are attaching too much to the sub-ranks, saying, oh, it's A rank. A rank is this specific way. And
Absolutely.
B plus, like, if we were to rank it, tier 1 as S rank, tier 2 as A plus, and so forth up until D rank, right? It would have no problem with Hitmonchan moving down from A minus to B plus. I feel like people are almost attached too much to the fact that it's an A.
Yeah,
A
no,
rank
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Plus,
So
people get
in that
lost
case,
in the muddle because there's like other noms between B plus and A minus that are actually, in my opinion, at least a lot more reasonable. Like, oh, Perch and Alola should rise, Weezing should drop. So people try to equate those situations, and nah.
Yeah, I didn't even know Clef was an A rank, where it is on the VR, like, as I'm watching it right now. So Clef is.
Yeah, we're always slow to drop things. I always try to change it, but I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's natural on VR because,
Girder should have gone down. Clef should have gone down. Aurora's is still very good, but I think A rank is more reasonable, just because you have so much more Alolan Sandslash. It really does hurt. Things like that.
Honestly, I don't even think Quillfish is A plus. Like, I think Quillfish can drop a sub rank just because it's like.
Quillfish is totally arguable, but I still think people underrate like how good it is if you simply swap one of the moves with Destiny Bond. I bring it up every time, and as my only argument for why it's good, like, because Destiny Bond, because I really do think that is far and away so much better of a Pokemon with that move. It's crazy, but I've already talked about that a lot of times. I don't want to get into again. What I can get into is, I don't know if you've seen this, but just now, while you were on that rant about your response to the A plus, B minus, the next seasonal round just dropped while you were talking. You're playing Slow Broth, by the way.
Not too bad then.
There's actually a lot of fun matches. We have
Sam versus Tasker.
Sam versus Tasker is like real big Brit match. We've got J-Mash versus TSR, with J-Mash being like, he saw a lot more PU Ladder Tour success than we would have expected, but TSR has been a much more established player, so that's interesting. We have Teddy versus Evigaro, where Evigaro has beaten myself and LST very recently.
Yeah.
Yourself versus Slow Broth is interesting, just because Slow Broth has really been out of the tour scene for a while. This is like his first tour coming back, so I'd like to see how he does. And then Katut versus Robert Alphonse. Katut now being in PU Ladder Tour finals, but definitely with, I guess, a lot less showy wins than Teddy on the other side. A lot like closer, less dominating stuff. So I think for him, the important thing is just to keep racking up wins, and Robert Alphonse would definitely be a pretty solid win for him to pick up right now. So you got a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, that's a very interesting round, actually. I was expecting more like, a good player versus average player type thing, you know what I'm saying? But
it's less spread out because it's single elimination, so you got less of that.
Oh, yeah, it is single elimination. Gee, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people have dropped, like LST dropped round 1, things like that. So it's definitely more I mean, there's still people I don't recognize, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad, obviously. In fact, I recognize every single name here as someone who's played a lot of PU tours or like is around PU, except for Inoril Zumi and Not Mian. They might be good, I don't know, I just don't recognize them, but already everyone here is like has either joined many PU tours or like is a community staple or whatever. So it is pretty interesting to see like a, not PU Slam obviously, but like PU single elimination tour, since we've been running so many of the seasonals. And it is nice to get some tour variation. I think because we ran so many double elimination seasonal tournaments, getting to see how different the single elimination seasonal is and how different PU Ladder Tour ended up turning out, that's pretty cool. I would also like to get us another team tour, which is the one topic I had prepared for this week. Sorry, by the way, because I've been talking a little long, but the one topic I had prepared for this week is I've gotten a decent amount of questions on, now that SPL has started up, is Smogon Exhibition coming back? Because obviously PU Monotype, Uber's Little Cup, not in SPL. We had Smogon Exhibition as kind of the successor to LTPL, Lower Tier Premier League. That happened last year. It was a team tour with those 4 tiers that I mentioned, and Galby and I won as managers. Yay. I don't know. I would really like it to. I think PU needs to get in a team tour other than PUPL. It is great to have more PU players interacting with non-PU players. The only thing is, all 4 of those metas have circuit tour playoffs around the same time as that would need to be hosted. That is kind of difficult. So I haven't really talked with Nares or Quote or OP or Ian or anyone about it. Those are the tier leaders of those metas. But that is definitely the tricky business about getting this hosted and getting people to care when you've got SBL and you've got circuit tournaments and Smash Ultimate. That's just me. Yeah, that was just a quick thing I wanted to toss out there. HJAD's probably asleep by now. I talked too long. He's actually asleep. Damn. Sorry, guys. I'm a boring lad. Why do I have a podcast? Anyway, that is pretty much all we got this week. If HJAD comes back, he'll... Oh, hey.
Oh, dude.
Hello, HJAD? I think he's just having some mic troubles.
Hello?
I can hear you now. What happened?
I have no idea what happened. I just detached my mic and put it back in again and it started working. I thought I was speaking that entire time. I was going to say on the topic of Smogon Exhibition, if Smogon Exhibition 1 was so good, then be a Smogon Exhibition 2. But
Now you're dipping in and out. It's the microphone. I believe what he was trying to say is, if Smogon Exhibition 1 was so good, why isn't there a Smogon Exhibition 2?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, okay. I just sometimes can read people's minds like that. Yeah, no, I would like it. Team tours are just very unique, just like how the single elimination tournament is looking very differently, just how PU ladder tournament looks very different from the other double elimination tournaments we've had. I kind of want that unique aspect. And it'd be nice to just be able to manage as a freebie, because frankly, I don't want to do any team building. I cannot, not for this PU meta, don't get me wrong. I actually liked building for this meta when I could, like comparatively, but God, team building in general is what has put me off Mons recently. I love playing Pokemon right now, but building teams is just so painful for every meta, and I've got, PU tournaments and AG tournaments and Little Cup tournaments and all these tournaments I'm like fucking building. So it'd be nice to just get to manage and win a tournament without needing to play.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing about building is that games can be won and lost at the builder, and I feel like
they are. Hello, did you see my ladder tour set? It was literally like TJ didn't need to make a single play. He just didn't screw up or do any obvious errors, and because I built real weak to a lowland Exeggutor, and that's when I'm like, okay, it's time to maybe take a little break from Mons and then come back,
Yeah, I mean that's one of the trade-offs with Pokemon. At the end of the day, it's like no wins the game, and you can take that as a positive, you can take that as a negative, but it's part of the game, I think, at this point. So people who utilize the team builder more are obviously more dependent on that as opposed to plays and vice versa and whatever. So, I just think team building in general just kind of sucks.
Yeah, it is a big thing in this meta, but this podcast is called Untier Talk, not Megazord Bitches, about what he doesn't like about Mons. So anything else you wanted to hit? For me, it was mostly just your Gimmick corner and low tier Premier League and a little bit on the VR. So yeah, I think that was everything.
Yeah, pretty much. That'll be it.
All right, well, thanks guys for listening in. If you missed the announcement, I put it in the hub channel of the PU Discord. That's where I do Untier Talk announcements. We weren't on last week. We wanted to take a little bit of a break, and we can do that. So, neener. All right, we'll see. Oh, and everyone go congratulate PU Superstar Pearl for winning Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Pearl used has won the Grand Slams.
Yeah, PU player Pearl used. All right.